they become so much obsessed with the materialistic life. But the result is completely, entanglement and absorption in ignorance. Nothing else. They get frustrated, they want to come out. And this is completely an opposite, process. For becoming divine means you have divinity because you are part of that divinity. But how come you do not bring it out? Why do you live a fake life of cheating? So 4 defects. Kali Yuga is bombarding within those and our limitations. How can we ever become victorious in Kali Yuga? Can anybody, by this common sense, also become victorious in Kali Yuga? Can Kali Yuga, they can go back home, back to Godhead? Seeing these anomalies, even the rishis who were contemplating on this, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is created on the basis of this anomalies of Kali Yuga. When Kali is dosha nidhi, nidhi means big ocean. It doesn't have boundaries. It is such an ocean. And it's ocean of faults. Everywhere there is discrepancy because Kali and the 3 modes of material nature of Maya, like the actor and its consort, both are acting directly. Even both of them come to dissuade a devotee. So unless and until he is properly protected, but the holy name protects, the holy Dham protects, Krishna protects. Otherwise, we are trying to take protection from our parents, protection of the gurus, protection of the rishis. Devashi, Bhutatan, Runam, Pitrunam, Nayam, Kinkara, Chandra, Kincharajan. We are being protected, that's why we are being obligated to them. As if they are our bodyguards. But Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanyam Gato. If we surrender to Lord Krishna, who is the source of the pain, and utterly take his shelter, will be protected. Mashucha. Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Mashucha. So, this is the situation that in any kind of materialistic life, we get or we seek protection, and therefore we are obligated. But in spiritual life, if we take shelter of Lord Krishna properly by knowing him in his divinity, we also cultivate that divinity. Why should we cultivate which we do not belong to? So that kind of inquisitiveness and reality, when we are faced in the maturity of our intellectual perceptions, then we study scrutinizingly, and therefore when will come that whatever we read, at least we get to the understanding. Whatever application of our understanding invested in our life will make us realize in that extent. Understanding in action gives you realization. And then, end of realization is chant Hare Krishna. पढ़ने की हद समझ है, समझ की हद है ज्ञान, ज्ञान की हद हरि नाम है, यही सिद्धांत और नाम. So the way complexity of the material world is there, at the same time, disentangling is also there in the spiritual life. If you are desirous of obtaining love, because you understand that in material world there is no love, it is hate only, because it has been created by different desire and hate, two elements. Ichha, Dvesa, Samuttena, Dvanda, Mohena, Bharata, Sarva Bhutani, Sammoham, Sargeya, Nivarata. Casinos will come and casinos will go. But miseries will continue. They are expediting our miseries. How many homeless are there? They must have been lost within the casinos. So actually the holy name of the Lord is our very life. All our devotional service is meant to be performed in relationship to the holy name. All our progress in life is meant to be God's according to our relationship with the holy name. Even in devotional service, whether we are progressing or not, it is gauged by the holy name. How are we chanting? How do we perceive the reality when we chant Hare Krishna mantra? What is the perception? When you chant the holy name, Lord Krishna is present in your tongue, dancing, not still. Because the tongue is vibrating, and Krishna will also be putting up steps. Srila Prabhupada taught us that we are actually servants of the holy name of the Lord. Render service to the holy name by chanting the holy name of God and by distributing glories of the holy name of God. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also explains that this is all depends upon one's faith in the holy name of the Lord as well. He said that faith in the holy name of the Lord is the preliminary requirement for advancing. Faith alone, Haridas Thakur also, faith alone on the holy name is enough to start your devotional service. The Nama Para, the Nama Pas and Shrutanam, they are also different gradations of one's faith in the holy name. If our faith is lukewarm, oh, everybody says you should chant. Okay, I will try. I will chant. But trial means it doesn't have conformity. It doesn't have the requisite faith. Therefore, Shraddha Shabdesu Drada Vishvasha Kara Nishchay Krishne Bhakti Karile Sarva Karma Krata. Swas is absolutely necessary for life. Life is, the swas or breathing is symptom of life. Symptom of life. And Vishwas means Vishishta Rupena Swas. The same kind of experience which is as valuable breathing. If it is there on the holy name, then it is explained that Krishna Bhakti Karile Sarva. You don't have to do anything if you do everything as Krishna Bhakti. Because reminding us, Yat Karoshi Yatashnashi Yajuhushi Dadasi Yat Tapasasi Kaunte Yat Purushi Sadhana. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as a homage, whatever you give in charity and whatever you do as a sacrifice, just offer it to me. So, how do we chant? Because we are told the faith in the holy name. So, how much investment are we doing in the holy name alone? If you do any particular business, you need to invest. All right? We are doing this business. You don't have to invest money, but you have to invest your value system. If you are a real person, you'll calculate all the value systems of your reality. If you think that you are real and you have firm faith on your reality, then you will not give much importance on the temporality which is attached to you. The temporality is just like remove the clothes and take new garment. Right? Vasanasi, Namani, Granati, Varoparani. So, the value system. Why did Krishna ask the gopis who were taking bath to come without clothes in front of him? What kind of naughtiness is that? It is not a shameful act. Spiritually, because why do we need extra garments on our reality? The skin garment, muscle, this and that, everything is imposed clothing our reality. Actually, we have to get rid of that. Even on the elemental basis. Remember, we told in the beginning that Krishna created 24 elements. And from the combination with the three modes of material, nature, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, these 24 elements combined and make varieties of energy, levels of manifestations. Why do muscles do the work? Because they are living entities. They are designed that way. Science is a muscular cell, a voluntary muscle cell, is a living entity or not. It has a nucleus. It triggers on its own. If it is voluntarily, just respond to an external stimulus. Involuntary muscles of heart, they don't believe you. You can't command that. They can stop their heart also for some time. But it is a fact. Every cell is a living organism that we are told and we have studied. But the body is called a composite organism. Multiple layers. As many tissues you have, that many clothing you have. But the real nakedness is that we do not have this. It has been imposed on us. So Krishna wants, what does he accept? The body he will accept or the soul he will accept? So, when soul has its own beautiful body. Because Krishna is two-handed, man has been made in the image of him. But he doesn't want material clothing. It's difficult in this lifetime to make this body get rid of. It is very difficult. But we can convert the body in terms of spirituality. Consume what is spiritual. Do not consume which is not spiritual in nature. So we have do's and don'ts just to protect. The body of the sadhu is so supple because of austerities and in mode of goodness. That is the sadhu character. One touch the body of a passionate person is crazy. And the madman or the lower body of a demon, you can't trust anything. But the spiritual body means every atom should be spiritualized. Every atom. How? If it is absorbed in Krishna's. Remember when Arjuna was visiting Dwarka and Rukmini and other queen were serving him. He was sleeping and they were fanning, but they were hearing holy name of Lord Krishna from his entire body side. It's not that he was speaking to the mouth. How? The life of Krishna consciousness is so sublime that we have to transcend from gross material to subtle material. Krishna gives us opportunity while living the body, we get into the subtle body. The subtle body is of mind intelligence. If it is purified, then it will go back home, back to God. So, at what level, when we are chanting, we are thinking of which level? Is it mechanical? I have to make myself exert with all this material energy. I have to make an effort to chant. Effortless chanting. Effortless chanting is there. Because it is natural. You don't have to even perform activity called prayas or an endeavor. You don't have to make an endeavor to chant. It springs automatically. And when the devotees are chanting on the street, everybody is not impressed by external activity, but the devotees pull their hand and say, come on, let's go. And everybody starts chanting. They will not necessarily be familiar. For the first time, they will be joining their kirtan parties. Prabhupada said, even a dog can chant. Yes. So, there is no necessity of external energy to make an effort. The chanting is an effortless. If you chant, chanting begets chanting because it's effortless. People are trying to find out free energy. But this is the free energy. If you chant Hare Krishna, you get more impetus. Chanting yields into chanting. But the quality of chanting is going to change. And when you chant purely, naturally all the sattvic bhavas will be also coming. Alright? Because that is a symptom of love. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that faithful chanting Shraddha means that one must be convinced that all one's duties in the life are automatically fulfilled simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. And all of one's pious activities will be completed by chanting the holy name of the Lord. And therefore, chanting was not easily available in Satya Yuga, Treta or Dwapar. Not easily available. After doing all the austerities in Satya Yuga, then at the end you will get the chanting. So lifelong austerities. That chanting is so easily available, yet I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction to your holy name. Durdaivam idrisham janina. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada explains the most important instruction. The most important instruction given by the spiritual master is to chant the holy name of the Lord. It's not a fad. People imitate. In 1980, I went to India for 2 weeks off. Because my grandmother passed away and I was the first son in the house. So she has a lot of attachment for me. I thought, let me go to Haridwar and take a bath in Ganges. I never went. And on the way I would stop over in Vrindavan, because Delhi and Vrindavan near. So at that time only the buses were going to Agra and giving 1 hour stop over in Vrindavan while returning. So I went. But during that time, I had a newspaper, the local Surat newspaper, Gujarat Mitra. I read an advertisement in it. Okay? Somebody from ashram of Mota. Mota ashram was very popular at that time. You know it?
No, I don't.
Bharuch.
No.
Yeah. And they take you underground to meditate. But Hare Krishna was becoming more popular at that time. Alright? So he put up an advertisement. Chant this Mahamantra. Hare Mohan, Hare Mohan, Mohan Mohan, Hare Hare, Hare Soham, 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 Hare Hare. And you will get all your desires fulfilled. In imitation. How did he manufacture that? No potency, nothing. Mohan and Soham, they are completely diametrically opposed to each other. Right? But nonetheless, these guys were, trying to. I never saw his advertisement again after this. It's an utter failure. But people imitate. There is no other instruction which is as important as that instruction. And therefore, chanting the holy name is the first and foremost of the all initiations. In Dwapar, Treta and Satya Yuga, second initiation, Brahminical initiation was the only initiation. But in Kali Yuga, we have to first purify our existence through the holy name. And if that is the only initiation, it will also act. But Prabhupada wanted an ideal Devi Varnashram system, an ideal human society. Therefore, Brahminical initiation is also required. Right? So, All the profound secrets of Krishna consciousness and devotional service can be revealed through the faithful chanting of the holy name of the Lord. But we actually have to chant with this attitude, this intention. Yes, I want to become free from these offenses. And we should judge as the time is passing, we should see how much progress I am making in chanting, how much reduction in my offenses is. And if we think, actually I am not making any progress, then as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, one has to seek out the association of the devotees who are making progress in chanting. Without that association, it is very difficult to come to the platform of Namapas. To come from the platform of Namapas, Namaparat to Namapas, because by that association, gradually what happens is that the secrets of the holy name of the Lord can become gradually revealed. One begins to think more seriously about his chanting of the holy name. And one begins to think, what am I trying to accomplish by this chanting? Otherwise, we even forget the purpose of chanting. Why we are chanting in the first place? What is this? And children are very much stranged out, estranged to the holy name. What is this mumbo jumbo, right? Oh, please God. The devotee who thinks that that will always have the impetus to chant his rounds every day, because he understands that what goal is. If you do not know the goal, sudipto, of your life, then you will doubt chanting. Remember, that was your question in the first place. Do I have to take initiation? Means chanting. Begin the chanting. But the important part is, if you do not know the goal, then you will have a question. And to achieve this goal, you will see, oh my God, it is tough job. But if you want to shoot a rhinoceros, not a little rabbit. What is the fun? Come on, you are a highly developed person. And one who knows that, although one may be traversing slowly, at least he knows that he has a purpose for chanting. Should know the purpose of chanting. By repeated offenses to the holy name of the Lord, one loses one's taste for chanting. Such devotee does not associate with the devotees for the purpose of increasing his attraction for chanting. And by those offenses, gradually he may give up the chanting and the holy name of the Lord also. Is this understandable? Yeah, good boy. So it says, Shastakam, third verse, Pranadapi sunichena tarorapi shaishuna manina manadena kirtanya sada. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. See how the consciousness is so much fully aware. Awareness and consciousness are synonymous. So while chanting, this consciousness has to be developed. If you want to chant Kirtanya Sada Hari, then you will have to cultivate these three things. You have to be humble and the straw on the grass, more tolerant than a tree, and should be ready to offer all respects to others in all circumstances, without demanding any respect for yourself. So you will be free from all the heavy burdens of attachment. Only in that state of you exist, you can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that this verse from Sikshastakam is the Siddhanta Pranali for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Siddha Pranali, Siddha means perfection, Pranali means the methodology. Perfect methodology. Pranali means this means by which one can attain the Siddha or perfection. And he also says that this verse is solely intended to teach us how to chant without offenses. Offenseless chant. There is no moment or place where you can make an offense. No possibility if you cultivate these three things. Dronadapi Sumichana, Tarorapi Saishana, Amani Namana. It will guarantee you the offenseless chanting. Always humbler than an ordinary common man, one should go on preaching the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And how you did Urdhva Bahu. Urdhva Bahu kari kahan suna sarva loka nama sutre ganthi parakanthe sloka. Raising my hands, I declare, everyone please hear me. The string this verse on the thread of the holy name and wear it around your neck for continuous remembrance. Why are we wearing Kanthimala? Tulsi should be remembered continuously. Because there is no other living entity present in this material world who is pure devotee. Tulsi is. Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Je gare bhajan dekhi, golo kare vabha. People surround the Tulsi. Even in the backyard. And the chant. Because Tulsi is the purest of all the living entities present on the planet Earth. So we have to declare with raised hand, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This has been given in Chaitanya Charitamrita Leela, 17th chapter, 32nd verse. Chanting is very simple, but one must practice seriously. Therefore, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, advises everyone to keep this verse always strung around his neck. This is in the purport. Srila Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, 17th chapter, 32nd verse. So that part. What is happening? So before we embark on the Shuddhana, we are also reminded of Namaparad and Namabhas in detail. And all these references have been taken from Padma Purana Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Harinam Chintamani and Chaitanya Shikshamritam, Govinda Goswami in Shuddhanam Bhajan, and Rupa Goswami in Krishna Namashtaka. You know these 10 offenses. We'll be reiterating. It is customary to speak about the 10 offenses while devotee is getting first initiation. The 10 offenses to the holy name are listed as follows in Padma Puran, as quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita Lila, chapter 24th verse, Parvat. Satam ninda namna paramam aparadha vitunate yatah khyatem yatam kanthadus sahate tad vigraham. To blaspheme a great saintly person who are preaching the glories of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the worst offense at the lotus feet of the holy name. The Nam Prabhu, who is identical with Krishna, will never tolerate such blasphemous activity even from one who poses as a great devotee. So devotees are of all sorts must refrain from criticizing a sadhu who is preaching the glories of the holy name. Being overcome with the material modes, if one commits such an offense or blasphemy against a devotee, one should sincerely feel repentant and cry at the feet of the devotee for the mercy and forgiveness. The devotee who is by nature very merciful will forgive the offender. You do your duty of begging forgiveness, but suppose if you are not forgiven, then don't mind. That may not be a pure devotee. So you are absolved. You have done your duty, but you will not be implicated. A devotee is known by devotee, but Krupalu. A pure devotee will always forgive. He doesn't mind. But it doesn't mean that you have to assume that he is a pure devotee or he has forgiven me. No. Unless you piteously cry at the lotus feet of the offended devotee, if he is pure devotee, he will forgive you. But you have to cry. Beg. You know the story of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni very well. Second one, Shivasya Sri Vishnorya Iha Gunanamadi Sakalam Dhiya Binna Pashyet Sakalo Harinam Hita Akara Harinam Ahita Kara. In this material world, the holy name of Vishnu is all auspicious. Vishnu's name, form, qualities and pastimes are all transcendental and absolute knowledge. Therefore, if one tries to separate the absolute truth personality of Godhead from his holy name or his transcendental form, qualities and pastimes, thinking of them material, that is offense. That is this. So simply to think that the names of demigods such as Lord Shiva are as good as the name of Lord Vishnu is also blasphemous. If by accident one should happen to turn from accepting Vishnu as supreme, one should be repentant and take shelter of Vishnu and be careful not to commit the offense again. By remembering Krishna, by remembering his name and chanting his name, the offense will disappear. Because Creator is one. Maintainer is also one. And ultimate dissolver is also one. But he is manifesting himself into three modes of material nature. For the material nature to be created, sustained, and dissolved. They come as incarnations from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Or Brahma, another expansion of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Hiranyagarbha, who takes the charge of maintaining, and the third Lord Shiva. While Lord Shiva is the transformation of Sankirtana, just like the yogurt is a transformation from milk and does not come to the milk stage again. Because Lord Shiva has to indulge with more of ignorance. He is in charge of our false ego and he can smash. He can smash our false ego. If you want to get liberated, go to Lord Shiva and he will check you out. Yeah. If you are not qualified, he will not allow you to go to Vaikuntha. Throw you back. That's where all the impersonalists are stuck near the Virja river where Mahakalapur is there. Mahakalapur is the residence of Lord Shiva and on the edge of a river but towards the material world. While on the other edge, Kailash is there, where Sankirtana is ready to take his form as Lord Shiva. That nature is transcendental. But once transformed, the 11 Rudras, out of 11 Rudras, Rudranam Shankarascha, I am Shankar, that is Sankirtana. So Krishna is always taking with him all the expansions of him. So Lord Shiva becomes the son of Brahma in Bhrukuti. When 4 Kumaras denied him, and we don't want to become grahasthi like you. And the father became completely angry. I am supposed to be Prajapati, whatever I produce, they must also reproduce. That's why the world has to be populated. So, Kumaras denied and father got angry, so Rudra came out from his Bhrukuti. So, that Rudra is the transformed Sankarsana. And therefore, Lord Shiva has to do so much work. First, Brahma ordered him, when he asked, crying, Rudra means to cry. And he said, Father, tell me what am I supposed to do? He said, you become Prajapati. This is the common order from the Lord. So Shiva did. He produces other 10 Rudras and all the progeny of Rudras are called Bhairavas and they are of the destructive mode of ignorance. And on the other behalf, Brahma's Putras were also ordered, the rishis. They will also have to become Prajapati, and they were mentally contemplating and producing. They are in mode of goodness, but there is constant struggle between the progeny of the rishis and Bhairavas, and population could not increase. Therefore, Manu and Shatrupa were conceived by the mind of Brahma, and they became the producer. To ruler also gave the guidance for the mankind who are the progeny of Manu. But it is said that when this Rudra's progeny were devouring So Brahma ordered, Shiva, stop this business of becoming Prajapati. You go and meditate in jungle. So since then, Lord Shiva always wears, deer skin and he is always in meditation. That is the best occupation because nobody can disturb him there. In the daytime, he goes with the family to Smashan, and people do not disturb him then in his meditation on his original road because he is always chanting. He's always chanting. So, to think that Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, they are great demigods, but their names are equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. That's our problem. Because the holy name is the sole property of Lord Krishna. Vishnu Sahasranam required to chant 3 names of Rama and only 1 name of Lord Krishna. So 3,000 names of Lord Vishnu has to be chanted just to chant one Krishna. What's easy? Say Krishna means the entirety of existence comes. If by accident one should happen to turn from accepting Vishnu as the Supreme, one should be repentant and take shelter of Vishnu and be careful not to commit the offense again. By remembering Krishna, by remembering his name and chanting his name, the offense will disappear. Only the first will not. According to the Vedic literature, there is no prayashchita or reformatory process or atonement for more effective than this. This is because the Lord is ocean of mercy and ocean of forgiveness. Similarly, the devotee also forgives his past faults. Haridas concluded one should avoid association with those who worship demigods as supreme and rather worship the Vaishnavas who take Krishna as the supreme. In this way, one can avoid the second offense. You will have a lot of friends, Prabhus, but think of this. And if there is no reasoning from them, then why to associate? What kind of defense they will have? This is Shastra. Because even unknowingly committing offense, but the offense will be there. You can ask forgiveness. But which category of offense is that? If the offense is coming out of ignorance, you can't be excused either. Oh, I didn't know, sorry. No. You have to be clear with association with the devotees and tell them how to understand this is an offense. They have to tell you the entire set of creation that when these demigods have been appearing, not before creation, it's after creation they appeared. Means they have been created. Brahma created 10 different kinds of categories of living entities. From first to 8, they are solely dependent upon Mother Nature. They cannot violate the laws of Mother Nature. They are from a single cell living entity all the way up to quadruped animals. They do not violate the laws of nature. They go along without any violation. Number 9 is a violator. That is man. And number 10 is demigods and demons. 10 creations. And out of 9, one who is obsessed with his vikarma and karma and attach themselves to the demigods to interfere in their life so they can get the best of the advantage. No. They have no jurisdiction over the demigods. So they may try to bribe them. No. In maintaining the material world, yes, they have their share. But you cannot worship him in place of the Supreme Absolute Truth. They are all 33 crores of Devatas and Devis, they are all subservient to the cause of material nature created by the Supreme Personality. So how to mitigate such an offense? Associate with those who worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead singularly, without any compromise. Otherwise, Shastras will be compromised. Of course, to fulfill somebody's temporary desire for getting a good wife, he is advised to go to Shiva Parvati and worship. That's okay. But if you want to get Krishna as your husband, then gopis were also told to go to Katyayani. There's no problem there. But to imitate that kind of thing and in a material life which is short-lived, and to bribe the demigods without proper understanding their position and their functionality in maintaining the material worlds. One should avoid association with those who worship demigods as the supreme and rather worship the Vaishnavas. It is better to worship a Vaishnava who is the embodiment of all the demigods' good qualities. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarva gunai tatra samasate suraha harava abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathen asati dhavata. In a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, all the good characters of all the demigods are residing. Better worship that Vaishnava. If he is a kinchan, just take Prahlad. Prahlad Maharaj was only and his father tried to kill him because he was the devotee of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. His father was such an extremist that he wanted Prahlad to call his father as Krishna or God. And he boldly said, no. You are not omnipresent. You are not omniscient. Neither you are omnipotent. So, we see this kind of situation. Prahlad. And Nrsimha Bhagavan came, and Prahlad was fearless. Even though you can see that his father is being killed, he is very steadfast in his worship. Nrsimha Bhagavan took such a fearful appearance that it was difficult for all the demigods, even after he killed Hiranyakashipu and the fear was over. But Nrsimha Bhagavan was so much fearful that even the demigods were trembling. Brahma prayed, nothing doing. Lord Shiva prayed, nothing doing. All the demigods also tried to pacify in the choicest poetry they knew the Supreme Lord, but nothing doing, no reciprocation. Then they said, Lakshmi, go and appease your husband. And Lakshmi said, oh, is he my husband? She became Shankita. Huh? She never could imagine her husband taking this kind of form. So she was reluctant to go. It's a very chaste woman. Accept anybody. So then everybody said, Prahlad, he appeared for you, please go and appease. And he paid his obeisances. Nrsimha Bhagavan picked him up, put him in his lap, and immediately, started petting him. He's no more fearless. So how much fearless Prahlada would be? Prabhupada said, look, a pure devotee is the leader of all the demigods. He has all the virtues of all the demigods embedded in his character. So why should we be fearful if we worship Krishna? Shiva, he does not take ill. Brahma does not take ill. Rather, both of them appreciate the pure devotee. So, one should avoid the association with those who worship the demigods as the supreme and rather worship Vaishnavas, who take Krishna as the supreme. In this way, one can avoid the second offense. Guru Ravadgya. Can we do tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, you don't tire. I see. Strike on the 8th. Anybody say?
I have one more. So, this is recommended for us not to associate with those who are the worshipper of demigods, but sometimes you become worshipper of demigod because of lack of knowledge. You don't know, you don't have that information that Krishna is the supreme. And whole itinerary about that, hierarchy, I'm saying that. They don't know. So unless if you inform them about the Shastra, because we have seen, especially in India, that it comes in the family. You don't even go out and research.
But they have material attachment to the demigods, no spiritual attachment. So how are they going to justify the spirituality of the demigods?
No, but unless we go to them and give them a knowledge or associate with them and give them a knowledge, can we argue that?
Even my father was a worshipper of Sri Ganesh, and I was also. But there is nothing to substantiate about the supremacy of Ganesh. Rather, we study in Brahma Samhita, Yadapada Pallava Yuvam Panidaya Kumbha Dvandve Pranama Samaye Sakanadhiraja Vignan Vehunta Mamadasya Jagatrayasya Govinda Madi Purusham Tamam. We are satisfied and we thank Lord Ganesh. And Prabhupada said, if you have some material difficulty in your chanting, go to Ganesh. There is no harm in it. But he is not the supreme, but ask him to remove an obstacle. What's the big deal? Similarly, you can go and pray to Hanuman. But you can't simply stick to Hanuman. You do what Hanuman does because he's a pure devotee. You do what Lord Shiva does because he's a pure devotee. It is foolish to get stuck with the personality and their functions. So personality cult is there. Bahudevavad, multi-gods are there. What is multi-gods? Because they can't explain what is the potential. But Brahma-Sita, therefore, is very important. They receive empowerment from Krishna. So we should worship the empowering personality, not an empowered personality. Because he's still there. And he's only one. Yeah, we have to gradually remove the ignorance.
Yes.
Yeah. Ignorance cannot be an excuse except in the world of reality. Because they do not go there, they are filtered out by Lord Shiva himself. How long can you keep yourself ignorant? What Prabhupada introduced us is known within no time. That would require how many? 20, 25 years of training within the household life of tradition, and that also incomplete. Then the person gets into marriage and forgets everything. Means he is not going to keep any tradition. Whose fault is that? Because ideal Grahastha life demands very first thing, worship the Supreme Absolute Truth through a spiritual master, and then act in the detachment. Three things are first and foremost. So, Vedic culture does not give you an alibi. It is a temporary, time-being, beneficial thing to remove an obstacle. The demigod worships have been prescribed, but not to replace the Supreme Personality. It means these guys throughout their life and throughout the traditions could not be satisfied. And why only demigods? The goddesses are there. Kula Devi. So many Kula Devis are there. Expansions of expansion. Even they are transgressing even the Shastric boundary. The names Santoshima is not there even in the Shastra. And so many Bagla Mata and this Mata and so many are coming up. Every corner, everywhere you will go. And in Gujarat there are plenty. See? All right.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. His Holiness Vaishnava Swami ki
Jai.